Hello, lovely people. Welcome to Val Fashion's YouTube channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. In today's video, we're going to be learning how to make this lovely tubed cupped corset with zipper at the back. So this does not have the regular eyelets or loops at the back. This is what my client wants. She wants hers to have zipper at the back. So here in front, I have the structure that is going from one bust and then also from the center front all the way to the back. So you can see it forming an off-shoulder sleeve, even though this is a tube corset, but you can see it forming an off-shoulder sleeve on one side of the shoulder. And you can also see the lancet arc I have at the down part that looks like a structured flare. In my previous video, I showed us how to draft and cut these lovely pieces. So in today's video, we're going to be sewing. So this is the sewing video of how I achieved this beautiful piece. I hope this is what you're interested in learning. Please kindly stay tuned while we get right into it. Thank you. So to cut out my fabric, you can see these are my pieces, my front piece, the center front piece and the side piece. I want to make this corset dartless. So you can see how I placed this center piece on the folded part here. Can you see? And then I brought this to this side. So I'm just closing my dart. So I want to make the corset dartless. So of course, as it is, I've taken my dart on my pattern, so it will still have that shape that a corset that has the right darts will have. To still come out well. I just want to make it dartless. But if you want to sew your darts together, I said it earlier that you add half inch on this side, the two of them, so that you join them together. But I want to make my dartless. That is why I'm placing them this way. So can you see they are meeting each other? So you can see my half inch here. You can also see my half inch on the upper part, and then you can see my side seam allowance, which is 2 inches, and you can see the down part, which is also half inch. So you can see I've drawn out my shape already. So all I need to do now is to cut it out. Okay. So now I'll go ahead and remove. So can you see that I have my dartless corset and see that? So you don't need to sew so much, but if you want to sew, please feel free to sew. I'll have my boning lines. I'll still fix my bone here, one here, and then other places. I'll show us how to do that. So for the cups, I'm going to cut two of each of them because we have the left and we have the right. So I'll cut two of each of them, and then for my back, I'm going to cut two pieces, one for the left and one for the right. So for the back, if you also want it to be dartless, all you need to do now is to close this dart here. Can you see? So if I close this dart like this and cut out, okay, or I'll cut through my dart, cut it open and sew it back together, whichever one I want to do. So to create this structure that we have here on top of the cups, that's the cup area, can you see one is coming from this bust here, that's from the left bust or from the right bust, from where she's facing me. So from the right bust all the way to the back, I'll be stopping this on the center back, and then you can see that this one is coming from, that's the ankara, the one with the ankara is coming from the center front to the center back also. So now I'm going to show us how to take the measurement to create this structure from this bust first. So one of the structure came from this bust. So I'm just going to place my tape inside so that the bra can hold it for me. And then I'll measure this way. Can you see that my 1 inch is inside? And then I'll take it to this point. So can you see at this point, when I got to the arm here, I have 16 inches. So you want this to drop a little. So I'll be dropping my tape by about 4 inches. So that will give me 20 inches. So I'm just going to drop it by 4 inches. So if this is where my 20 inches is, I'll come here and place my tape on 20 inches. Remember that I came here and it was 16. I dropped it to 4 with extra 4 inches. So that's 20 inches because I want this structure to fall a little on the arm area, not supposed to be tight there. So folding my tape on this 20, now I'll take it round to the back. So to the center back here, this is where I wanted to stop. And here I have 31 inches. So that is for the one with the satin, that's the plain one. Okay? So to take the second one that's supposed to be the Ankara fabric. So remember I have 31.5 inches. So to take the second one, that is the Ankara, I'm going to be taking my measurement from the center front here. So I'll place my tape here to the center front and then take it to this point. So can you see? I got into the same point where I got to 16 the other time. So this is 12. I'm going to still drop it by like 4 inches, so that's 16 inches. So I'll bring my 16 inches here, turn my mannequin, and then to the center back here. And you see this is where the center back here is, and I have 27.5. The first one is 31.5 and this is 27.5. Okay, so now I'll show you how to cut the fabric. So to cut out the fabric I'll be using, this is also my doll face satin, my crinoline that I'll be using to structure it because it cannot stand on its own like that. So I'll be using this crinoline, and the crinoline is 3 inches in length. Okay, this is 3 inches in length. It's a little less with 1/8 of an inch. So now I'm going to, since my crinoline is 3 inches in length, I'm going to be cutting 3.5 inches, and take note that my fabric is on fold. So I'll mark 3.5 inches, half inch is my sewing allowance. Take note my fabric is on fold. So for this satin fabric, is going to be 31 inches long, exactly my 31 inches long, 31.5 rather. So here is my 31.5. So I'll get my ruler and straighten out the line. So you can see, I'll go ahead and cut it out. This is my 3.5 and this is 31 inches long. So I'll also place exactly this on my Ankara and cut out the same thing, that's the same length, but the width will be 27.5 because the Ankara is shorter. So can you see I have my 3.5 and then 31.5 inches long. I'll be trimming out this savage here. That's the savage of my doll face here. So you can see I have exactly 31.5. So I'll place this on my Ankara and cut out 27.5 inches, but also 3.5 inches on fold like this. And then I'll show us the next thing to do. So I've also cut out my Ankara fabric, as you can see, and it's 27 inches long. 27.5 inches long, so you can see that. So now the next thing we're going to do is to stitch this place. That's I'm going to be sewing it with half inch. Half inch is the seam allowance I added. I'll sew half inch on this opening, and then I'll also do the same thing. That's I'll be sewing from the wrong side, and then I'll turn it to the right side and iron it open like this. So this place with the joining will be here in the center. Okay, so and then for the crinoline, I'm going to measure my crinoline. This is for the satin now. I'm going to be making it 31 inches long, 31.5 inches long. So this is 31.5 inches here. I'll fold it into two like this. This is to give it strength. Remember that it's supposed to create a structure. So now that I've folded it into two, here, then I'll cut. So you can see now I have 31 inches long on fold. I'll use my low steam. You have to reduce it, let it not be too hot. And then I'll iron it to straighten the crinoline. For this one, that's for the Ankara fabric. I'll cut 27 inches on, that's 27 inches, and then fold it into two. So you can see, of course, it will be stronger because I have doubled it. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and stitch the crinoline together, stitch it together, and then I'll use bias to cover this rough part. So you don't necessarily have to do that for this side because it has not been cut. So I'm just going to cover this side. I'll do that and then show us the next thing to do. My lining, I cut two pieces for it. This is going to be the lining also. Okay, so the cups, this is the side cup and this is the center cup. So here are my side cups. So can you see I have four each, four, and then four of this, two for the main fabric and then two for the linings also. You can see that. So you can see my sewing allowance of ½ inch round, the same thing. Okay, so and then this is my back piece. I closed my dart. I just want my outfit to be dartless, so I've closed my dart. Can you see? Then you can see my 2 inches sewing allowance at this side, and then ½ inch for turning the lining. I also have four pieces of this. Can you see that? This is four pieces, two for the main fabric and two for the lining. So I'm going to show us our bias that we're using my to sew my bonings. I'll show us the bias. So I cut strips that I'll be using for the bias. This is the Ankara strip I'll be using for the bias. So I cut it this way. This way I placed my fabric like this, slanted. Can you see? It's not straight now, so you can see it's stretching. That's how I placed, and then I cut 1 inch on fold. Of course, when you open it, that will be 2 inches. So you can see my strips. I've gone ahead to fold it, I've ironed it. You can see, so at the end of the day I will have ½ inch. That's what I'll be using to case my bias. So now it's time for us to start sewing. So for us to join our cups, these are the side cups and then this is the center cup. So this is what I'll be doing. You can see the side that was notched. Okay, I'm going to pick my cup like this. So you can see this one has the haystack. This side that was notched and this side that was notched, they're supposed to be sewn together. So you can see this was how they were cut. You can see this is the neckline here. So this is it. I'll place them like this, right side facing right side, and then I'm going to be sewing on ½ inch up to this point. So you back stitch and you start. You just hold together so that you can sew them into each other. So you can see what I have. This is what I have. So I'm going to notch it, and then I'll take it to my pressing table and iron it opened. So by notching it, this will allow all these pointy places, all these pointy edges to come out smoothly. So you can see. So this is what I have. I'm going to press it. So I will join the others, the lining and the main fabric, all of them just the same way I did for this, and then I'll show us how to fix the bra cups into the main fabric. So after stitching my cups together, I've gone ahead to press it open, and this is what I have on the right side. So now the next thing to do is to notch, fold my bra cup into two, and then notch the center. So when you notch the center, you place it like this. Make sure that it's matching up with this, the place where I joined the cups. So I'm now going to go ahead and pin it. You want to stretch out your cup so that everything is sitting well. So, okay, so you can see. So this is what I have. You can see this is what it looks like too on the right side. I'm going to stitch it like this now. To sew our bonings and to case it. So first I've cut the boning I'll be sewing on the center front. Can you see? I came down from the neckline, that's from here, from the starting point by half of an inch, because you don't want your boning to get to this part. You need to sew it and this place will come down. So if you have your boning reaching there, you will not be able to fold that part where you're sewing. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to draw the style lines. That's the lines I want my boning to be. This is my center front here. So I'm going to come here now and mark this way. So this is how one of the bonings will be. So now from this point, I'm going to measure. What do I have here? I have 2 3/4. So I'll come here too and mark the same 2 3/4. And then I'll measure here. What do I have here? I have 1 inch. Okay, from the center front, I have 1 inch. So I'll come here too and mark the same 1 inch. So I'm going to connect it like this. Okay, so already I have this one in the center. So you want to mark the next line that you're going to. I'm going to have 5 boning lines here. So I'm going to move away from here by 2 inches. So here's my 2 inches. So here's my 2 inches, and then here I will come down by 3 inches. I'll mark 3 inches at this point. So I'll bring it this way, like this. So I'll connect it like this. So I'll come here and measure what I have here. I have 3 inches here. So I'll bring the same 3 inches here. And then what do I have here? I have 2 inches. So I'll mark the same 2 inches here. Okay. So now that I have my lines, so this boning is the one I'll be using for the center. This is regular boning. I've cut it already and I went ahead to press it, so that is why it's laying this way. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do, I have my Ankara casing already. I cut them on bias. You can see that I've already pressed them, and I've pressed them, I folded them into two. So all you need to do now is to take the one that will be enough for this place, and this is it. So I'll place my bone in this way. Take note, I'm opening the bias now that I created. I'll come down by half of an inch from the tip here and then place it this way. Can you see? And then I'll stitch it down like this. So here we are. After stitching it down, remember that this was how I opened it. So I'm going to flip it over like this. Can you see? So this is how it was like this. So when I flip over like this, of course you can see what I'm doing. I'll turn it this way, and then this part is here. So this now will cover it up like this. So you can take this to your ironing table and press it, but I can handle it this way because I've already pressed it. Okay, so can you see? I'm just going to hold it really well. So I'll bring it now this way, and then I'll place it at the center front here. So I actually have a structure that I need to fix into it here, that I want it to be here. So I'm going to bring it in and show us how I'm going to place it under it. Liquid all line together, you see. So you can see that I went ahead to stitch my fabric together and then I turned it and ironed it. So this is where the center line is, because this part will be covered under. So all I need to do now is to fix in the crinoline. So you want to hold it this way and push it in. So you have to hold it that way. That's the way it can just keep going inside. I haven't fixed my crinoline inside, can you see? So now I'll come here. I'll come down from the neckline by 3/4 of an inch here, and then I'll just top stitch this crinoline here. It's easy. So I've top stitched it here. So now I'm going to place my boning. Can you see? So the boning has to cover it very well. So I'm going to make sure to centralize my boning. So you can see that this part of my boning, there's nothing here. This is because I'll be using this part to sew the neckline. So I'm just going to stitch it down now like this. Well, down this side, I will restitch. I'll sew this side too. So of course that will now hold it down very well. So can you see? So you can see what we have here. It's looking all neat. So now I've equally done this too. So now this is the next place I want to fix my boning. So I'm going to come down by half of an inch from here. Can you see? And then I'll measure. Can you see what I did? You come down by half of an inch. So take note that this place is a little curved. Are we seeing it? It's a little curved. So I'm going to try to curve my boning. Can you see? So this now, can you see when you follow the curve, it's curved this way. Okay? So now I'll measure from here to this end, and then I'll cut out my boning. Of course, I'll repeat the same thing for the other side, it's just the same. So now I'll still pick my bias. Just want to show us so that those that don't understand. So now take note that this is the side that is curved like this. So I'm going to pick it this way. Take note, by the time I turn it, it will come back to this same position. You don't want to flip it wrongly so that it doesn't give you the reverse side. This is how it's supposed to be. This side is lower, this side is higher. So I'll place it like this, coming down by the same half of an inch, like 3/4 of an inch. That's fine. I can always trim out my excess because my rope is longer than the actual length I made. So I'm going to just hold it down and then I'll sew. Okay, so having sewn it like that, all I need to do now is to flip it to the other side. So this way, you can see that this side too is closed. So I'll do this like this. I'll fold it like this, and then I'll take it to my ironing table and press it with low steam so that you can see it's curving. So you need to iron it so that it just relaxes well and it's easier for you to sew so that it doesn't give you any gathering. You can see that these ones are not gathering because I ironed it well. Already, so you can see that it's slanted. So this slanted part is the part that is down. You can see that. So all I need to do now is to place my strip this way. Can you see? I'm going to sew now. So I'm done fixing my bonings. So all I need to do is to trim out my excesses. Okay. So now it's time for me to fix the bra cups. First, before I start fixing my bra cups, I'm going to just give a tiny cut around this curved part. So I'm just going to give it like 1/4 inch. This is just to make it easy, so that when you are fixing your cup, it just flows nicely. So you want to also do this, just make sure that you don't cut up to the 1/2 inch that is your sewing allowance. So you can see this like 1/4 inch. It will make your life really easy when you are sewing your bra cups. So here we are. So you can see I have my tiny cups, and I also have them here. So I'll start with this side. So these are my bra cups. So this is the center, and this are the sides. So this is for this here. So first you want to make sure that this part, remember that this, when I was fixing the bone, I made sure that this is the center. This is where this joining is. So I'm going to pin it now like this. Like this. So I'll flip it over. You see? This just makes your work a lot easier. So pin it this way. Okay. So can you see that? So you can stop here with the pinning. If you want to pin all the way, that's fine, but I'm okay with this. So now I will make sure to shift this, because remember that I have a structure here which is going to interrupt it. So I'll just make sure to shift it very well so that I can hold my fabric on 1/2 inch. And I'll place it under my machine like this at the beginning here. A back stitch. As you fortify your stitch first, make it stronger. That's by back stitching. That's what I mean. So I'm going to push this away. This is what I have after sewing. You see? So you see my cup is sitting very well. Can you see? You can see. So all I need to do now is to give this part, notch this part like this. Just want to notch it so that it relaxes well. Relax. So I'm going to be top stitching it this way. Okay. I'm going to be top stitching it this way. So, but that's after I fix the second cup. So I'll fix the second cup and show us how to top stitch it. I fixed the cup. And you see, this is what I have. This is what I have from the wrong side. So I'm also going to go ahead and notch this part. So after notching it now, the next thing to do is to top stitch. So I'm going to shift. You want to make sure to shift this particular piece here, and then make this, the seam allowance here, lay flat. So I'm going to be top stitching it like this around. So just going to be sewing on the second thing. So take note, this particular one that I have top stitched, if you look at it and this one, you'll notice that this one has a more balanced look because it has been top stitched round. So I'm just going to top stitch this one too, and then the next thing is to turn the line, the upper part, the neckline and all that. I've sewn my crinoline. Can you see how the shape is? It's slanted. So So I'll still need to trim out my excess. I need to have just half inch, which is my turning allowance. So can you see what it looks like? Can you see? And then this is how it's going to be, and then it will overlap this one. Okay, so now the next thing to do is to bring in my lining, and then I'll sew from the wrong side. So I will sew it from this side. I'll be sewing on half inch round the neckline. So I'm going to just pin it and sew it together. I've gone ahead to fix my zipper. This is the front side. You can see I have one bonnet, just one. That's what I want to have in front. So here you can see that this is the wrong side, the reverse side. So all I did was to fix my zipper on the main fabric. Can you see? And then I used my lining to turn it. So that's why it is this neat like this. So this is French finishing. I won't be doing inseam finishing for this outfit. So I'll come here now and cut out the excess zipper I have. Turn the sides of the back piece like this. You can see what I have inside is neat. So I'll repeat the same thing for the front. I'll turn the sides too like this and turn it so that I can join them together by the side there. So I've gone ahead to shape the sides of our top. Can you see? So I shaped on my sewing allowance. So I'll be using my bias to finish this rough part. So I cut a long strip of bias, can you see, using the Ankara fabric. So what I'll be doing is I'll place it on the wrong side here. You can see I ironed it half inch, I folded it into two. So the width of this bias is 2 inches. On fold, of course, is 1 inch, and then when I folded the fourth time, it's half inch. So I'm going to be sewing on this side, on the wrong side, that's on the inside, on the reverse side. I'll be sewing on half inch all the way to this end. So, and then when I'm done doing that, I'll flip it to the other side and make sure to cover up this rough part, because this is how I'm going to start. When I finish sewing, I'll flip it this way and then put this inside and tuck it in and then top stitch it. So I'll do that and come back and show us. So for this structure, I'll be using to create the arc. This is what I did. On the one that will serve as the lining, I went ahead to stitch my boning on it. You can see I shifted half inch away from the tip here, and then I sewed my boning. Then you can see I sewed on that after sewing the boning, then I went ahead to sew on the half inch. Okay, you see. So I don't need too much boning on this. This is already, remember I used hard gum stain. It's already strong, and then we're still going to bead this. So I don't want to use too much boning on this, but this is already giving the structure that I want. So you can see I sewed it like this. So all I need to do now is to stitch this side down. I'm going to close up this side like this, sew it down this way. So for here, I'm going to just trim out my excess. So I've sewn the hem, can you see? I neatly finished it off. Got it. So everything is looking all neat. So for this, I'll be placing on the person's back. I'll tack it. So I'll use a bias, this navy blue color, to hold them together and cover them up. Okay. So I'll wear this on the mannequin and show us how to fix the arc shape. You can see I've also woven it and it's looking neat. So she's wearing the corset top. So now to fix the arc, I want it to start from this end, from the end here. I'm going to place it here like this. Then I'll take this over like this. So we need this side to go a little higher this way. Can you see? So Going to come here and pin it this way. So can you see? Can you see the shape that we have? So now I'll go ahead and mark this shape. I'm just going to use my chalk to mark. This is to indicate that this is where we're fixing it. Okay, so I'm going to take this now. I'm going to take it off now because you won't be seeing this part. So I have to sew it in a way that it will be like this, and then it will fall over like this. So I'll take it out now since I have my mark, and then I'll pin it and sew it. Now continue. So for the sleeve, I'm going to make this climb over this like this, and then I'll stitch here at this point. Can you see this LI pin? I'm going to stitch them down together, and then I'll take it to the back. So just turn around like this. You notice it was falling, so I'm going to make this top here at this point. So I'm going to cut a strip of fabric that I will use to cover this. I'll be using the satin. I'll just join them together and then close them up here. This is to give it that something like this to finish up the tip here. So can you see how it is falling here? Can you see? So you can also come here and stitch this part together. Can you see that? You can also come here and stitch this part together. This is just to give it that very nice, relaxed look. Okay? So that's that. I'll do that and come back and show us. So here we are. Can you see our top? It's giving everything it should give. So you can see the back. I went ahead to use my satin bias to neatly finish that part, as I used my satin to create bias to finish the end of the structure. You can see I also went ahead to fix the lancet act and I beaded it. So I know I didn't show us how to create the lancet act in this video. I'm going to be dropping it in my next video. It's quite a process, even though not too long. It's very simple. I'm going to be dropping it right after this video so that you can check out how I achieved this lancet act. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please give me a thumbs up. If you're yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly do so. Please subscribe, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to put on your notification so that you get notified once I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.